Mark, you're fucking drunk.
He's all passed out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of Knights of the Round Records. Y'all miss us yet?
I miss you guys.
What's up? I miss y'all.
Man,
everybody.
it's been a few weeks, but you know what, guys? Some real shit's here. The first time all 5 Knights are at the round table together. To the right of me, as always, Eric. What's going on, Eric?
Not much, man. Glad to be here.
And right next to Eric, we got Bass, straight off the red eye from Dallas.
Yeah, what up, dude? Running off a few hours of sleep.
Wasn't that Bass last time?
Bang, and
I think that's
Chex Mix is all I ate today, and it's past midnight. So
Also a Coke.
what's good? And a
I
lot
think
of
that's
Coke.
Bass
Just kidding.
soda.
If my boss hears this, it's just kidding.
Fucking Bass. Last time we did this, Bass was straight off the fucking flight from Vegas.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, see, I'm making it happen.
That's just Bass's persona.
Right,
Always touching road.
And
I'm
for the-
always,
Hey,
I'm always
Bass, how
on
you
the,
doing?
I'm always on the
Fucking
run, but
Always on the road.
And then for the first time together, we have Bass and Rudy. Rudy, what's going on, my man?
finally,
nothing much,
my
man.
boy, finally. he's here.
Just enjoying this Thanksgiving break. I mean, fuck. I think I got 5-day weekend, some shit like that.
Something like that. I got like
been
5 days
enjoying
left,
it.
too.
Been lazy as hell, but glad to be here with the guys and all that shit. I mean, it's nice.
And then to the one motherfucker who only had 1 day off this week,
What the
always to the left of me on my left hand, man. Charles, what's going on, my man?
Mr. Rise and Grind himself.
I'm tired as shit.
It's alcoholic.
So, okay.
He's been drinking Jack out of the bottle all night.
So a little backstory from today. I've been gone for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, so y'all know. I'm training for a job. And then I came back right before Thanksgiving, and we're trying to get together sometime before Thanksgiving. Bass had to go up to Dallas for some stuff. He'll be leaving town again tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll be in San Antonio tomorrow.
He'll be in San Antonio again tomorrow. And then Charles over here decided that he wanted to drink today before today's podcast. So mind you, Charles gets drunk off of a Smirnoff and a half, and that's half of a sniff.
Right, and he had 3 of those. So.
Yeah,
He's actually only been drinking O'Doul's, and he's
It's shining.
Placebo effect.
he's lit off O'Doul's right now.
Whatever, it gives him a little flavor, but
So he bought a 6-pack, drank 5 of them. I had 1 of them. I'm drinking, judge me, I don't care. I'm drinking some cranberry and some vodka right here out of a Dak Prescott cup. Let's not talk about that loss. That'll be on Pooh's podcast coming soon.
Which one?
Shut the fuck
Get
up.
the fuck out of here.
he's got the.
We're falling apart at the seams, guys.
He's got the New England Tom Brady. He's all right.
Yeah. Shout out to our Lord and Savior Tom Brady.
No.
Hallelujah.
12.
This could get real quick.
So man, since the last time we talked, music. Oh my God,
Man.
every fucking thing has come out, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Everything.
Shitload of stuff.
I think we need an episode dedicated to something that isn't like an actual album and just music talk about what's come out and what's coming out and who's done
Yeah,
what.
definitely.
Mark, you're drunk.
No,
Absolutely.
That sounds good, actually. I mean, all
know what I
the
mean?
new music that's coming
Not
out.
even talking about just like an album, just talking about who's doing what right now and who's done what.
There's always time for that down the road.
So since the last time we spoke, Heartbreak on a Full Moon came out, the fucking 45-track Chris Brown album.
Fucking breezy, man.
I don't know about all y'all, but I listened to all of it, and I
have not
actually
heard
liked
any of
all
it.
of it.
I have not heard
I heard
any
the
of
I
it.
can't
first,
count
like,
that
5
high,
tracks.
so I'm not going to go that far. But I'll probably check it out later.
I've heard
Yeah,
about a quarter of it. I was fucking with it.
I'll give it a gander. I've not.
And then we
seen
got
it.
that 21 Savage, Offset, and Metro Boomin's Without Warning.
Hey, that bangs.
That shit
That's
hit
the
hard.
shit.
I'm not gonna lie.
That is the shit.
Can't
And then
stand
we-
him, I'm not gonna lie.
Twin.
Oh my god.
And then-
This sucks.
And then we got another track with Metro Boomin with some Big Sean. Thank you. Pull Up and Wreck. That shit came out hard, in my opinion.
Hey man, you know what I gotta say? That song grew on me after a while, so I like that one.
And then we heard from the first time in a while, we heard from some NERD. They came out with Lemon featuring Rihanna. And if you're a stripper and you're not dancing that song yet, you ain't making no money, bitch. Plain and simple.
No doubt.
But they probably are.
Cardi B flashed some fans. Y'all see that?
Saw that.
Did she really? Where was I?
Some swangers, dude. She had some swangers.
Some
Oh,
swang?
that was?
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck she was till like 3 weeks ago. So
What are you talking about? That was on my playlist.
so
Since then, also when we got some Wiz Khalifa, Laugh Now, Fly Later. What else did we get? We got some PNB Rock. They dropped PNB Rock dropped Scrub.
Didn't we didn't record when Crit dropped his album, did we?
Yes, we just recorded the last episode.
It did. I thought it came out a week.
Talib Kweli dropped Radio Silence. We finally heard from Sci-Hi the Prince.
Sci-Hi dropped it. Finally has an album now.
No Dope on Sundays.
And that's banger after banger.
Yep.
T-Pain dropped something called Oblivion out of really fucking nowhere. Chingy's dropping singles and some music. I didn't know Chingy was still even alive. Cameron dropped something recently called
Chingy?
Yeah, Chingy, dude.
Chingy.
One call away?
Yeah.
What the fuck,
You know,
dude?
meet me at the Holiday Inn.
Dude.
That's the one.
Hey, that was a banger, too.
Cameron dropped the program and also dropped another mixtape while we were talking while I was on the road.
There's a beef with him and Mace.
Dude,
I haven't heard it yet, but I'm
just talking
so
about
happy that
So
beef is in again.
Back.
yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Beef is back. Beef is
I love
here.
it.
And beef is here to
Fucking
stay.
love it.
And it's them just talking shit to each other. And it
Fucking
goes back to Mace talking about shit that happened fucking 20 years ago, and then Cameron saying that he and then Cameron saying he fucked Mace's sister. Like,
Oh, shit, dude. Yes.
Getting real.
Yes.
so we'll see.
wonder if-
Now he has to get his sister come out and say like he has a little dick. Like, and just,
And so
Joke's on you, I only have a brother.
we'll save that for another time. We also got some Project Baby 2, All or Nothing by Kodak Black. It's the deluxe edition. Came out with some extra tracks featuring Lil Wayne, featuring Birdman. We finally heard from Fabulous and Jada Kiss, Friday on Elm Street. That finally dropped. Hobson dropped No Shame. And then let's talk about the fucking goat in the room real quick.
Thanks, guys.
Eminem's Walk on Water. And I was going to say elephant in the room, but we all know that Eminem's kind of a goat and the greatest of all times. What did you feel about this track?
I skipped it, man. Miss me with it. I'm done with that.
Yeah, dude. He's still one of the GOATs, but man, I don't know. I
I
was
got-
not feeling that song, man. It was too. I don't know, man.
I got nothing but respect for Eminem.
Yeah, no, I love the dude.
I'm skipping that.
But
I hope he roasts both of y'all.
hey,
Hope it
man.
comes
Just-
out.
Hey,
I hope he
man.
does too. I hope
Just
he
for that
does
little
too.
bit.
I hope he
Yeah.
does too.
Ciphers on both. Yeah.
Nah,
Right. Hey, I'm not a yes man, so I'm gonna say how it
No,
is.
I got
I did
you.
not like it. So
I hope he does roast us.
Rex.
Say my
Rex
name.
is so bad.
I'm with y'all on this one, guys.
But-
I did not feel it. I wasn't a fan of it.
I didn't listen to it.
Honestly,
I figured if it's getting this much backlash, it's like why dwell into it? And plus, I trust y'all's three opinions in general. And like I remember we were talking about it a while back when it first
Yeah.
came out. I remember each one saying it's like I just wouldn't.
If I was you, I would still listen to it, even though I don't like it.
Yeah, give it a listen
Yeah,
at least,
you
man.
might
'cause-
you might see a different.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
It just wasn't for me.
it's a new M.
Yeah.
It was a Beyonce feature. It's
Another reason why I don't like it.
I didn't feel it, man.
I don't mind Beyonce, but I was not feeling either of them on that song.
Now, don't get me wrong. That hook's great, dude.
I
You know
wasn't feeling
that just
either
just
of it.
you know put that hook on something else. It's Beyonce all day, you know. But M and Beyonce to me just wasn't.
It doesn't even sound right. If you're gonna say that like a few years ago, and
Very
you
odd.
hear M's gonna drop a song with Beyonce, it's like what's
Very
going
odd.
on?
But
Like,
see,
why?
this goes back to something we were chatting about earlier about relevance in your features and when you're dropping an album because, look at NERD. We haven't heard from NERD since
2010.
2010. It's been a solid 7 years since we've heard from them.
Damn,
And then
favorite.
the last track, charted, but it wasn't a high chart. So what do you do on your comeback?
You get features.
You get a
Yeah.
high feature.
You gotta call in a big gun.
Yeah.
So tell me, Lemons is a banger. Lemon is a banger.
Yeah, no doubt.
But without Rihanna,
I think it
How
completely
hot is
changes,
it?
I think it completely changes the song.
so think about Walk on Water. Without Beyonce, it's still an Eminem track,
But the hype wouldn't have been there.
but you don't have a top-notch artist.
I don't know, but
a high
Eminem's one of
caliber.
those guys that could carry hype without any
I
feature.
think
you know what
his
I mean?
name means more
More
like,
than Beyonce's,
by itself,
in my opinion.
than when you throw out Beyonce, because then you're gonna get a bunch of I'm not gonna say the Beyonce fans, right? Beyonce,
That's the point.
But
That's the point.
thing
You
is,
want
they're not
to draw a
necessarily-
different demographic.
They're not necessarily M fans, right? So they're not really gonna fall into what he's talking about or what he's rapping about.
Let me say this: the way that they put Beyonce in this song is this is gonna be how Eminem is gonna hit like our local station here would be 102.3. That song will probably be on that type of radio station, like on
Your
the top 40.
hit.
You know what I mean? Just because it has Beyonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get
You
that.
know-
But without M, it's just a hip hop song.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of the style that he's actually spitting, the caliber of lyrics that he's spitting, or what he's spitting, it's still going to be M. You know.
Moms need to enjoy.
What was the
hip-hop
last
too.
time? What was the last time you heard? What was the last time you heard "Stand" on the radio?
It's been a
Absolutely.
while.
I mean, that's a super old song, though.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
When you heard it, where did you hear it?
That's
One,
probably,
two,
On a
three.
hip hop station?
that's probably in daycare. That's how old it is.
It is.
Probably,
It's really fucking
I
old.
think probably MTV went back when they
Nah,
played fucking
nah,
music videos.
It's
They
literally
play
it's been-
videos?
It's been,
Oh, it's a myth.
So I mean,
it's been years since that's been anything. I think anything that M has really had anything on the radio, like at least around here, you don't hear it.
but then you think about what the rumored track list and the rumored features on the track list include 2 Chainz. Hold on.
What?
So you think M?
That's wild. That's
You think
completely, man.
you think Eminem?
That's wild.
The style of rap that Eminem raps and has been rapping, not his old school Marshall Mathers LP or anything before that. You know,
Yeah, it's definitely different now.
it's and then you put 2 Chainz, a guy who used to be known as Titty Boy.
I'm down.
Like that's not a feature. You know, that's you're doing that for relevance right now, in my opinion. That's what you're doing. You're putting that out to be relevant, to stay relevant.
I agree
but
with that.
but who knows? We could see old school fucking M.
I hope, man.
And then, you
I
know,
hope so.
and then hear fucking 2 Chainz spit something stupid. You know?
Hey. Take it easy.
Well, I mean, stupid like hot.
Oh. Then yeah.
I'm a huge 2 Chainz fan. I love 2 Chainz. Dos Cadenas. That's my man.
Is that how you say chains?
That's how you say Chainz in
He's
Spanish.
lying.
Cadenas.
I thought
Yeah,
that's.
you're gonna go say it at work and you're gonna get in trouble.
You're kick me in my coscanas.
Bro, Dos Cadenas. They're like, oh, you're gay. I'm like, no, it's not me.
Gato pantalones.
So, yeah, guys. Hip hop's been fun. There's been some beef. XXX Tentacion got jumped by Migos.
Yeah.
And has a video of it.
Was that actually someone in Migos, or was that one of their boys?
I don't know.
You couldn't really see it, but you just see someone on him and he's like, hold him.
Well, they
I don't know.
raping them. That's
Okay, so I'm gonna put this out there, and I just want it to be known. I'm tired of XXX Tentacion, and I'm tired of people like Tekashi 69.
I've never even heard that other dude.
Okay, and the reason I'm tired of
Sounds
them
like
is
a hot sauce,
sounds like an anime. Like
it is,
Yeah, right.
it totally is, and the reason I'm tired of them is because we talked about this yesterday. Mark and I, when we were chatting, was about publicity. You know, in anything, publicity is publicity, and it's just that. It's the word publicity. It's getting yourself known to the public. But there's a difference between good publicity and bad publicity. Now, in someone like Kanye or The Game or people like them who take bad publicity and flip it and just say, fuck it, it's something, my name's in your mouth, right? Fuck it, let's take it. That's cool. But when you're using bad publicity like sexual assault charges and kidnapping and stuff like that to get your name out there, to me, that's not hot. That's not hip hop.
Yeah,
good
fuck
look.
no.
You
yeah,
know,
fuck
now
no.
it
granted,
kind of like shits on hip hop. Like that's not what it should be bringing
Yeah.
out.
Now, granted,
Fuck all that.
you have those stories of the drug deals and the murders and the killings in the street and stuff like that, but you're talking about shit you've seen and shit that you've been around,
Yeah.
you know? And those are stories, you know? Whether they be true or not, you speak no truth to it, right? It's a story you're telling. So do I condone all that shit? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody should be killed over anything like that. But did it happen? Yes. Now, granted, you don't have XXX Tentacion, nor do you have Tekashi 69 speaking on sexual charges or allegations on anything like that. But that's how they're getting their names out there.
Yeah, it's
You
fucked
know?
up.
You know? And
That's shitty.
I listened to the interview of DJ Academics and Tekashi 69 about how, it's not how it happened, this is how it happened. And, you know, that's cool. I hear his side of the story.
Yeah,
and his side of the
they
story.
might be innocent. Yeah, we don't
You
know,
know, but that's how you're getting your publicity. That's how you're getting your notoriety. To me, that's not right.
And
That's
they're
not
running
hip hop.
with it, is what
Yeah.
it is. They're running with it. So I mean, it just doesn't look good.
But they're using that mentality, like I said before. My name's in your mouth. That's it. That's all I need. My name is in your mouth. You're speaking of it. Like I just said their name 3 or 4 times each.
yeah.
Yep.
But I said their name. You know? So, in my opinion, I'm going to get that off my chest. I'm not a fan of either one of them. I'm not a fan of their music. To me, XXX Tentacion tries to be too dark. He wants to be a different style of hip-hop where he's merging, you know, devil shit, whatever. I get that. Cool. You want that to be your scene. You want it to be your thing. Whatever. By all means, fucking rock on with Satan. You're upside down cross. I don't give a fuck. That's you. You do you. I'll listen to your music if I like it. But I don't like it because it seems like you're trying to push that agenda of you have to be dark to listen to my shit. I don't have to be nothing to listen to your shit. You know. And then, of course, with those allegations of kidnapping and sexual assault, that don't fly with me, man.
Yeah, definitely not trying to hear anything but X Tentacion.
Yeah, I barely realized how to say his name.
I don't even know how to pronounce his name, so I'm like,
I feel like I always fuck it up. I know.
Yeah, I see the 3 X's. I think of Mark's Roman numerals, and I think it's.
He's all, hey.
I think,
So, man, I'm drunk, but hey.
I think it's 30 tentacles or something. I don't know.
XX Squidward tentacles.
Yes, XXX Squidward tentacles. He and this bitch, right? Now SpongeBob. All right, let's get this rolling. Mark, what was the mainstream album of the week that you picked last week?
Run the Jewels 3.
All right. So for those of y'all who don't know who Run the Jewels are made up of Killer Mike and LP.
A supergroup is what they would call it.
A super duo?
Group
They
is...
consider it a group for some reason. Anything more than one in the rap industry is a group.
Nah.
All right. So,
Duo.
like a couple is 2 and a 3 is a few.
I'm just going off with the...
and then 4's an orgy.
what
Hey,
they
I don't know what that is.
Smell your finger.
Oh.
I've been rocking with Run the Jewels since they first dropped their first album, which was RTJ1 or Run the Jewels. And so when Mark picked this, it really made me excited to listen to it. They've been around since like 2013, I think the late 2013, when they dropped Run the Jewels, their first album. And since then, they've just stuck with that name, Run the Jewels. It's Run the Jewels 1, Run the Jewels 2, Run the Jewels 3. So Mark picked Run the Jewels 3. So to start off Run the Jewels 3, Mark, talk to me about Run the Jewels 3.
This dropped digitally Christmas Eve of 2016. Wasn't going to drop as an album at all until 2017, but they just decided for some reason they were going to drop it. Be Christmas. That's just LP and Killer Mike just doing what they want to do because it's their shit. And man, they couldn't have done it at a better time because it's literally been almost a year. I'm still banging that thing as if it came out brand new. And to make it even better, the fact that it's the trailer song for Legend Has It for the new Black Panther Marvel movie.
Can't wait.
Like who boldly makes a hip hop song like this that's controversial, like an album. This would be considered controversial because they got some lyrics in there that could that test the waters.
Yeah.
Puts that on a Marvel movie, and not even just a Marvel movie, probably one of the most highly anticipated Marvel movies to come out in the entire Marvel franchise.
Well, on top of that, they used the and Rudy pointed this out to me. They used the instrumental for Thursday in the Danger Room for an acid trip during Rick and Morty
no lyrics, just the instrumental, and it just like I remember hearing it because Rick and Morty season 3 was coming out. And they did that acid trip maybe like a week or two before. Mm-hmm. And I remember hearing it. I was like, that sounds so familiar, but I didn't hear no lyrics. So I was like, I didn't catch on. And I remember, maybe a day later, I heard the album again, and I heard that part. I was like, wait, that was on Rick and Morty. And I was like, oh shit. Like, they even Rick and Morty integrated it into their, like, trying to hype up the show. And it actually worked really well for that little trailer or commercial. It was pretty cool.
And it's crazy they did that because there's a company that I just bought a shirt off of, and y'all saw me wear it before, that is a Run the Jewels Rick and Morty collaboration, where it's the pistol and fist, but the pistol is the portal gun, and then the fist is Morty's fist holding a chain. Yeah. And like to me, that's just cool.
I love mashups like that. Especially with two things that are completely different that you both love. Like, I love mashups like that.
That's not even the first time that Marvel grabbed him. If you're familiar with Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix, there's a fight scene in season... No, sorry, not Daredevil. I think it's Iron Fist. Sorry. They used Blockbuster Night Part 1, and there's an entire fight scene where they use that entire song as a fight scene.
That's awesome.
The fact that they can collab with a super movie, industry like Marvel, like comic books, to use your music, that's fucking phenomenal, man. And I picked it because, like I said, it's been a year and I'm still jamming that thing. Like it's just been released.
Yeah, I mean it's solid. Debuted at number 35 on the Billboard 200, and debuted at number 8 on Billboard's top R&B hip hop albums, rap albums chart. And as of January 2017, it sold 41,000 copies, and I don't think that includes the streams. It runs at 8 minutes short of an hour. I mean, it's a solid album, dude. Yeah. It's a solid album. What is this right here? Apparently, it's their third studio album, but it was after Meow the Jewels, which is a remix album by Run the Jewels. Dropped by it was Run the Jewels 2, which is replaced. All instrumentals were replaced with the sound of cats. So to have people like Killer Mike and LP drop some shit like that, that's cool to listen to. We looked at a solid 14 tracks on here with some interesting, very interesting features from people like Trina. When was the last time y'all heard from Trina?
Earlier today on Facebook.
Yeah, earlier today on Facebook. Someone asked us about, hey, what's Trina doing these days? She's dropping music with Run the Jewels. You have Boots, which is was someone that they've always worked with. Yeah, from Dora the Explorer. The monkey. He's ventured off into rapping.
Danny Brown, man.
Danny Brown.
Shout the fuck out, dude. I fuck with Danny Brown.
I didn't get introduced to Danny Brown until the Gorillaz, and ever since then I've been turned on to Danny Brown.
Yeah, I've been a Danny Brown fan for quite some time. I love him.
Zach De La Rocha.
Dude, that Run the Jewels 2. Like, how are you gonna get Rage Against the Machine's Rager to come on and just kill a track?
As he's accredited as a writer for the last track of the
Report to Shareholders.
Yeah, Kill Your Masters of Run the Jewels 3. To me, that's just awesome. And it makes me think back to the days of high school and middle school where I was jamming Rage Against the Machine and shit like that. And, you know, it's
fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Exactly, man.
You know
I mean...
It's a real defiant album, this one. I fucking love it.
It says here that the first album single, Talk to Me, was originally released on October 24th, 2016 on Adult Swim's 2016 singles program. So as you can tell... They're in cahoots with Adult Swim, you know?
They definitely got the working business relationship with them, which is a good thing because I feel like they could use their music in a lot of their different shows.
Yeah. I think they've got the right audience between Adult Swim and being able to collab with Marvel the way they did. Like, they've found the right market, basically.
So on top of this being as great as an album of it is, it had its 3 singles, which was Talk to Me, we just talked about. 2100 and Legend Has It, and as well as their previous album, this album was released for a free digital download on their website and then sold as a physical copy, as a CD and LP. So for a rap group to be giving away their music for free on their own website and then saying if you like it, buy it,
that's
a tough one right there.
Yeah, that definitely is a bold move.
Yeah, that's
it took them a little over a year to record. January 2015 to September 2016. So I mean, a little less than a year. A little over a year actually to record. So there was some thought put into this, man. I mean, it's a solid album all the way around. The artwork goes back to the symbol pistol and fist. Not much changed up except the gold hands, you know, which references back that song "Stay Gold," which has a feature from, I want to say it's his
son.
Killer Mike's son.
Oh, yeah, it's his son. Yeah, he asked him to say it. Yeah, right in the beginning.
Dad, Uncle L.
Yeah, Stay Gold. Yeah, so.
But he says it like he's not even that into it.
It's like,
Dad, Uncle L.
It's like, alright, goddammit, Dad.
You stop calling me?
Right, fucking Stay Gold.
So we talked about the ins and outs of the album. I'm going to start with Mark to my left since it is his pick. Mark, favorite track off the album?
Man, okay, Legend Has It. I said, not even before even Black Panther trailer got dropped. That song hyped me up. I'm just the way they swap verses all the time. It's not like here's so and so's verse, here's so and so's verse, here's the closing verse. It's back and forth, and that song right there is a good example of how you can be a rap duo and back and forth, an entire song, and it flow perfectly. Like you can't take two artists, find a beat, and then magically make it sound good as a rap, but they did, and that's good to me.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's always been one of my favorite styles of hip hop is when you have a duo or a collaboration of the two, and you can go my line, your line, my line, your line, my line, your line,
completely.
And go back and forth.
It seems like it's pretty hard to do too. It's like it's not an easy thing to.
Yeah, because then you have to not only mesh words, you have to mesh styles. You have to sit there and create together and say like, what are you gonna say? Well, I'm gonna say do this. A good example you have Kanye West, Pusha T, was it New God Flow? Mm-hmm. When they go back and forth on a couple of lines, doing just a couple of lines, Pusha T said it was that tough, just a couple lines. When you do almost a whole album, I mean, granted, you have Killer Mike do a verse, you have LP do a verse, but every once in a while you have them hop in there and do a line after line after line after line, bounce back from each other, and do that on a few different tracks on the album. That's got to be tough, and that shows their skills as MCs, man. And I will give them that title as an MC, not just an artist or a hip hop artist or a rapper. They get the title of MC. They've put their work in to get that title.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, like, I'll call rappers, rappers or whatever. But if I call you MC, it means, like, you can spit. Like, you have lyrics. Like, not that my word means anything, but in my own head, I'm like, I'm not going to call them an MC unless they can actually spit. And I agree with that. Like,
I mean,
definitely are MCs.
Slaughterhouse gave the best definition of it in the beginning of Welcome to Our House, It's a person who won't back down from any challenge, any cipher, who's just down to spit, I mean, that's what these guys do, I was up in West Texas training for this new gig I got, and I was in my hotel room and I saw that they were doing a live show live on Facebook, and best believe I tagged all these motherfuckers in around sitting in a circle with me, and I said, let's watch this, and I said I was watching with all y'all, so I felt like we were there at the concert together just jamming out to some Run the Jewels. So, Rudy, favorite track off the album?
Favorite track was Oh Mama. I forgot what number it is, but
it's towards the very end.
Yeah, it's like probably the last, like maybe the.
It's track 12.
All right, so that was my favorite one. I just liked the beat to it and all that. The music part of it just really kind of dragged me in. Also, I mean, killing like an LP like they do with Moses' album, pretty much the whole album, they kill it. It's just obviously I like the main singles. Like Legend Has It, I can listen to that all the time. But Oh Mama was that's my favorite one.
Got you, Bass. Favorite track off the album?
I'll have to agree with Mark. Legend Has It is sick, and called Ticketron.
Yeah,
that fucking goes hard, dude. I really love that one. Like,
when you can get that sample from the Ticketron and use that as a fucking hook or beat.
Yeah, dude, I fucking loved it. And then Live at the Garden was hell yeah, hell yeah.
As I hear it in my head.
Shout out Nick. But yeah, dude, and their LP's sick, but dude, Killer Mike just his voice and his flow is just, it makes me pay attention. I'm just like,
he's got such a very heroism and like burling voice that just it meshes well.
Like, it's a
LP. So.
Yeah, it's a dominant style. Like, I really fuck with them. Like, that song was dope. I don't know, man. Like, it was hard picking like my favorite because there's not one song I don't like from this album. So, and it's gonna suck when we have to pick one I don't like. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, it's really hard. But
Eric, your favorite track off the album?
My favorite track, right in the beginning, was "Talk to Me."
Fuck yeah.
I really like that one. I like how the beat changes right in the middle of it. Like you said, Killer Mike, his delivery is definitely something that brings you into it. I was a big Killer Mike fan before. I had no idea that he was in Run the Jewels. I slept on this album and the rest of them for a long time. But that one definitely is one of my favorite tracks. Talk to Me.
I'm going to have to go with Hey Kids, man. With the Danny Brown feature.
Yeah, man.
Hey kids, hey Jack. Like, anytime you hear that "Hey Jack" come up, and you know Danny Brown's about to spit something stupid. I remember telling an old coworker of mine. I was listening to the soundtrack off of The Man with the Iron Fist, which was all produced by RZA, and
shout out.
And I listened to this one song, and it had this feature at the end, and I couldn't tell him who it was, and he was like, dude, I heard that too. And so finally I dug deep into it and found out it was Danny Brown, and that voice is just, it's just sick.
Voice, yeah.
And then I remember talking to Bass about it, and Bass was like, dude, I know who Danny Brown is. I heard him like this. And then I talked to another buddy I used to talk hip-hop with, and he was like, dude, Danny Brown, that dude's the fucking truth, and like, hearing this collab together was just probably one of the coolest things ever. I mean, you have those deep voices of Killer Mike and LP flowing so smooth, and then you get that random ass Danny Brown high pitched crack addict fucking voice.
I fucking love it, dude.
You know it's his
Wow,
voice
man.
when it comes
I love,
out.
but because it's cool, because Danny Brown, like, it's weird. Like, the way he raps is, he can either rap high, and then there's sometimes he sounds like a complete different rapper. He uses his deep voice, and it's like, what the fuck? But it's the same, dude. I fuck with Danny Brown, man. Like, he's fucking awesome. It's not like either whiny, like a white girl just fucking going crazy, or like a deep thug, like. Shut up.
So here's the our least favorite part of course, this episode, because this is going to be a hard one to pick. Oh God, it's hard to say.
Go back the other way.
No,
No,
Go
fuck
back the other
that.
way.
We're on the rotation,
Yeah,
Mark,
get
just because
out of
you're
here.
drunk.
Start with Mark. Least favorite track off the album, Mark.
Don't Get Captured. I don't know. For some reason, I lose interest right around Don't Get Captured, and then Thieves kind of comes back and kind of like pulls me back in. And that's hard to say because I like Don't Get Captured, but if I had to pick one, that'd be it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
It just feels repetitive to me, so that's why I had to.
Alright, so I don't know if I don't think David noticed whenever he named his favorite track, but if I want to go least favorite, I was gonna go with Hey Kids. I was gonna just. That's like
You're gonna bounce to Danny Brown?
Huh? Not Danny Brown. I think it's just like the.
I mean, that is Danny Brown.
I said not just Danny Brown. The thing is like the intro to that song, like the beat to it and all that.
Yeah.
It's like every time I hear it, I'm like, it's taking a while to get to the music. I'm like, or to the rapping. I'm like, eh.
It's got a very low build up to it.
Yeah. So I'm like, I guess it's just a build up.
And I guess that's probably one of the reasons I like it, because you get to sit back and enjoy production quality, and then enjoy the lyrics, and then you get to enjoy the feature, and then you get to enjoy production quality again at the end. And that's personally probably why I feel that I like it so much, because you get that really slow build up, and you get to actually hear the music, and you get to hear that quality. But
Not miss me with all that. I just want to get to the music.
I don't want to ride the wave.
No, don't tell me what to do.
so you hate Gucci Gang too, right? Don't you?
Oh, fuck yeah. I hate
No punk.
You don't like art?
You don't like art?
I heard some guy singing that at work. He's all, everybody's all, shut the fuck up. And then we found out that he didn't know the album The Chronic. So we started roasting.
What?
And then even my boss, well, he's from California too. So we even asked him, and I was like, okay, the album The Chronic, do you know what that is? And he looked at me like I was a dumbass. And he was all, duh. And I was like, alright, well, whose album is it? He's all, Dr. Dre. Looked at me like I was an idiot. I was like, thank you. And he's all, wait, who's asking? And we all pointed at him, the guy that didn't know, and everybody's just like, our boss is roasting him. I was like, our boss knows it and you don't? There's no fucking Lil Pump. Fuck out of here.
So Bass, I know you're trying to digress.
Oh, okay, this is gonna sound super petty, like we're just going after each other, but Oh Mama is my least favorite. I'm sorry, Rudy. I'm sorry, but
It's fine with
Oh
me.
Mama, it's still a good song. It's just probably out of like it's hard, but I think that one was didn't really not as much punch for me, but it's still a good song. So I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Really, like it's still a good song.
Eric?
I don't have just one, but it's nothing against any of the songs really. It's just kind of my thing.
It's like the last 6 tracks.
No, seriously.
I hate this
Oh
half
my
of the
God.
album.
No,
What?
seriously, like the whole back half of the album, like I don't know, it was hard for me to get through it, but it was just because I listened to it from start to finish, like a couple hours ago, and I was in a hurry.
I can feel that though, because like you first listen to the first like 4
Yeah,
or 5.
first 4.
They're
You're
all
like-
fucking badass.
Yeah, you're like, I want to start listening to them again, and then you forget the other half of the album exists, and you're like, you know what, this doesn't live up to the hype.
That's pretty much what happened, because I listened to like the first maybe 6 or 7,
And
and
you're
then I was like, all right, and I went back and listened to them again. Like I started getting to the back half, because I know it's not like a really long album. It's only like less than an hour, but I went back to the beginning because I wanted to hear the first couple, because it just seemed that like the first like 4 or 5.
They do their heavy hits in those first
Yeah,
rounds.
exactly. That was.
They're real
I feel
deep.
like they needed to be spread it out a little
Yeah.
bit more. Like maybe have
Killer Mike's
like
gonna
one
show
of the
up.
first 5 every other.
Killer Mike's gonna show up and be like, what the fuck?
Pull up.
No, it's no disrespect though. It's just I think they need to spread out the first 5 tracks or 5, 6 tracks on the back end a little bit.
I don't
Just
know,
to,
man. Have your girlfriend tuck you into that because you're gonna show up at your bedroom. Pistol fist, just what's up, bitch?
No, man. I wish you would.
I would
up.
die at the hands of Killer Mike.
Pull up. Pull up.
God, this is gonna be hard.
That's what she said.
I hope so.
He like picks the same song you picked for best song.
I'm
I
gonna go.
actually hate it.
My best
Complete what idiot.
Um,
I hated it.
I'm gonna have to probably go with Stay Gold. I think that to me, that's when the where Eric was saying
it dips out.
that's where the album actually starts to digress and gets to a different feel of it. And I think that it was right in between. So to me, it was kind of.
You noticed it the most?
Yeah, to me that was when it was the noticeable. Like, all right, here's the dip. Here's we went from the heavy hitters to the calm mellow music,
Here's
which
the
I
turn.
appreciate. I appreciate both. You know, I really like them both, and I really like Stay Gold too. Don't get me wrong, but
It's just like
I had to pick
it's not.
one.
It's not to say that it's your like the song you hate. It's just like the least favorite off of a good album.
Yeah.
So out of a bunch of good songs, your least favorite, unless you're Eric, where it's just that down part of the album just keeps going and like it doesn't pick up. It just keeps going down.
Sorry,
to
man.
To
The
him.
whole ass end of the album.
To him.
So I mean,
Just-
Eric would much rather listen to Gucci Gang than the last 8 tracks of the album.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
no.
Just put that 2-minute song on repeat for like an hour.
Well, he
Gang,
doesn't say
Gucci
anything else but that.
Yeah, right.
It's
The-
fucking
Has
Fruity
the
Pebble hair.
least words ever
Yeah.
in a top 10 song or something like that.
All right, so
I ain't even gonna front though. To be honest, this probably has one of the best intro tracks on a hip hop album I've ever heard because of the way it builds it up.
You
Dude.
talking
Or
about
it's just
Gucci
like-
Gang?
Yeah.
You're fucking stupid.
The pump.
Get out of here.
Ooh.
I mean, just like
Ooh.
just the way it opens up, it sounds like so slow, and then all of a sudden Killer Mike comes in and starts rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that I don't have to go back.
And like the first few times I heard
it.
it, it's like nothing starts for the first 5 seconds, and I always think I didn't press play, and it's just like 5
You're
seconds.
there
I'm like,
fucking
wait, it's not
playing
pause,
pause.
nothing, and then it finally starts, and I'm
You
like,
hear that?
You're about to
It
call
gives
your-
me
it's about to
anticipation
give you
every
the-
time,
call
and
the
then it
phone
finally
company,
goes
What the
in.
fuck is going on with my phone?
Yeah.
The music's not playing.
And then Killer Mike comes in. Yeah, dude, I
Turn your
I love
headphones
that.
all the way up.
Killer Mike scares you.
I
Boom.
I
You're
love
like,
that. Yeah.
like-
He's all fucking hope with those hope, man.
And then like it has one of the best hooks from Joy. Is how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Joy, whatever. Joy. I could have y'all. I could have died y'all a couple times. Took my eyes off the prize, y'all. Like that shit. Like it just instantly when you hear that and just how it's so mellow but so like in your face at the same time.
Yeah.
And then with that hook, it's just like fuck. That's real as shit. There's like a couple. I know a few people pray for my demise, y'all, but like Cream, I had to rise. I know a couple people pray for my demise, but even birds with broken wings want to fly.
We're gonna
Like,
need a bigger
what the
boys.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like where the fuck? Like how are you gonna cut intro track with like people want to see me fail, but I ain't gonna fail. You know? Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. That opened it up. And I was
Shouts to
like,
DJ Khaled.
Oh hell no! You can miss me with all of that shit. Don't even put my name on that retweet. No.
I mean,
Like, I don't fucking want
as
no
far
part
as
of
like
that.
albums that I've ever heard, this is probably one of my favorite intro tracks on an album.
Yeah, that it's definitely
real
one of the
good
top.
one. Real
I
good
fucking
one.
love
Absolutely. So if we're gonna rate it out of 5 flames, what are we giving it, guys? Mark,
4.
Rudy.
I'll go 3.5.
that. I'll go with 4.2. I really like
I thought it was 4, 4, 5. I thought we were on 5 intervals.
Yeah, there are 5 intervals. I said 4.2.
That's you gotta go 4,
Fuck it,
4,
keep it
5.
going.
Fuck no! I make my own rules.
4.25.
Fuck out of here!
Look, my
I'm
kid
my own
drunk.
tyrant. I'm making my rules, sir.
My kid drunk. Bass is
4.2.
tired.
No, y'all give it a 3.5 before.
Yeah,
Get outta here.
0.5 intervals.
No, he's saying like you could only give it at a 0.5. You can't
No,
do
I'm using,
2.
I'm using the metric system, so.
They're in Canada.
Get a royal cheese. Eric.
Whatever, dude.
3.5. 3.5.
He skipped her from the point. Went to the half.
It's the same shit.
It's
3.5 flames.
And he only judged the first 6 songs.
Yeah.
You're right.
Keep that in mind.
Imagine if you listened to the last half of the album.
To balance it out, I guess I'll have to give it a 3.7. No, I'll have to give it a 4, man.
I was gonna give it a 3.7.
You're gonna listen to Mark and
What
the
are you
.5
talking
I
intervals.
was like,
The
fuck, I wanna be-
.5
So we got
intervals.
2 4s, a 3.5, a 4.2, and a 3.7.
So it's like a
It's a solid
3.9.
It's a 3 point. It's a solid 3.9.
Yeah, 3.9.
I might as well make it. Let's round up. I'm sorry. We're using the metric system. We can't round right
We
now.
got to do 3.95.
Hey, I contradict myself, so we can round up. So moving forward, all right.
All right, so we done talked that, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about our underground artist of the week. Mark picked Divine Council. Mark, tell us a little bit about them and why you chose them.
Okay, honestly, I
should be on
picked,
student
I picked Divine Council because when we first started this, I wanted to look up actual underground artists. I'm not really familiar with underground artists whatsoever. So, first I hear something and then it branches off from there. Like if I listen to Run the Jewels and it says, hey, go look at this other artist who's like them. Oh, they're pretty mainstream too, you know what I mean? So I actually legit Googled underground artists and it gave me a list of stuff and I was like, well, let me actually pick this out. This happened to be one of my ones that I listened to when we first started this podcast. And it turned out to be legit. For what they do and what they're trying to sound like, they hit it pretty well. And for them to have a 3 Stacks feature, for y'all who don't know who 3 Stacks is, that's slang for Andre
You should get slapped in
3000.
the face if you don't know who that is.
That's slang for Andre 3000.
He's actually their only
Podcast.
associated acts linked to them on Wikipedia, so that's
is dope
huge.
for an underground artist to have someone as big as Andre 3000 to be a feature on one of their tracks, and given that it was a really dirty track, that's their style.
Yeah.
It's just raw and uncut and stuff. It did what it needed to do.
They peaked at number 1 on Billboard's Spotify Viral 50 with their single P. Sherman. Which is one of the songs I actually listened to today. That was actually probably my favorite track of theirs that I
I
listened
really
to.
like that. Shout out Nemo.
Yeah.
They actually made a Nemo reference in it too.
It's funny
Dope.
because I was telling my buddy about. He was like, "So what's the next album's gonna be?" And I told him, and he's like, "Divine Council. I don't know who that is." And I was like, "Dude, they got this 1/6 song that references the address to Nemo." And he's like, "Oh, that song's whack." I was like, "Bitch, fuck you, dude. That song's dope. That song's live." But it was pretty funny.
Song slap.
I nearly spit out my drink whenever someone I was like, "Motherfucker, dude, that song's tough."
So they seem to be up and coming. I think that's their.
Did you say fucking slide?
I saw that
Yeah,
song.
it's
That
slap.
song got slap.
They dropped
So
Council
drunk.
World August 1st of 2016. They're signed with Epic Records, which doesn't make them necessarily underground, but they still consider themselves experimental hip hop and R&B. So to me, that's a real underground type thing because I guess the route that they're going.
I don't know where they're at yet.
They got that co-signed by 3 Stacks. So anything with the co-signed by 3 Stacks is either out of this fucking world or
If you're related to
or you're his cousin. Where are they from, Mark? You know?
Honestly, it's just a mixture of dudes. I read it earlier, but I
They're from a
forgot.
bunch of dudes.
I think they said
Shit.
Virginia somewhere. They're somewhere out of the
Yeah,
fucking old
Richmond.
school, East Coast type stuff.
Yeah, they all formerly known as DBSB and Divco.
There's Lord Linko, Cyrax, and Silk Money. So
Cyrax. Shout out Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. They were on Rolling Stone's 10 New Artists You Need to Know in 2016. So these guys are getting some hype, which is good to hear, man. That's what we're here to do too. We're here to put some hype on some music and some underground artists and stuff like that to get them going. On top of that, we want to shout out everybody who's following us on Twitter, following us on Facebook, who's just interacted with us and chatting with us, man. We really do appreciate it because, without y'all, where are we?
Yeah, it doesn't go
I'm probably still at home.
unappreciated at all. We got plans for people sending us music.
Yeah, and we really do appreciate it. If you're listening to this and you're an underground artist, send us that music at kotrr@hiphopfan.com.
And expect to be heard. Us
Talked
to
about.
yeah. You're gonna be hearing from us soon.
Because it's not like one guy has access to the email address. We all have it all.
It's 2 guys.
If I could just say one thing,
If you think it's 1, it's actually 2.
if I could say one thing, if you're gonna send in any kind of music or anything, be sure to include your Twitter handle, your Instagram, your any kind of
ways for us to reach you guys.
That way we can tag you in the post.
SoundCloud,
Do everything that we can do to get you on here also, because you're sending this for us to listen to. We want to share this with everybody else.
Yeah. Sure.
So we need to be able to tag you. That way you get, all
much
the likes
exposure.
and things that you deserve.
Yeah. Exactly. Good point.
I mean, it's crazy. We're having people send music from all over the United States, across the pond. I mean, it's coming from everywhere, man.
What pond?
The big pond.
Oh, fuck.
That's
That
slang
pond's so
term.
big.
God damn
fucking
it,
big
God
ass
damn
pond.
that pond.
And your stuff's getting listened to, guys. I open shit up all the time. By the time these guys get to it, it's an open track. It's an open file in the email. I have Eric and Bass constantly in the inbox, just listening to music, trying to find out the next big underground artist.
Tweeting out links.
And Mark and I are in charge of our social media accounts and stuff like that. So you're either dealing with us, which means we actually heard it too, because we're tweeting at y'all asking, hey, what's up with this? And we like your music and stuff like that. So it's not just like a one person gets passed on type thing, or we're just having you send it to us because we think it's a cool thing to do. We're actually listening to your shit, guys, and we're enjoying it. Shouts to everybody who sent some stuff in. Shouts to the ones who are about to send some stuff in. Shouts to all of our followers. Shouts to everybody who interacts with us and stuff like that. So without further ado, we're going to hop on this wheel, and we're going to spin this wheel because Mark's been too bitch to actually steal the good wheel.
True. I'm just gonna make one. Fuck it.
That's not the same.
Told you
You're going to steal it.
Told you.
We all
God damn it, dude!
We all
It was your idea.
Bass calls me out weekly. As
Do what I do. I want that.
It was like, hey, guys.
Because I haven't gotten picked once on this goddamn app. Fuck this
Hold
app.
on, time out. We've gone through 2 apps.
Yeah,
And
fuck
you've
both
been-
of those
Like, hey guys,
apps.
I'm gonna go steal this wheel.
Yeah.
4 weeks later,
It's
I haven't,
funny, though.
I'm about
have you
to
got that
order
wheel
a
yet?
fucking
No.
wheel.
Like the,
All right.
the intro episode was Baxter Bronson. That's your boy. That's just funny to me. And you haven't been picked since.
Yeah, but it wasn't my favorite album.
I know. I'm just saying you haven't been picked since.
All right, so we're going to get this thing spun real quick.
He doesn't know how to spin correctly.
There's like no names in there.
It's just my name, and that's it.
It's him. It's him.
It's not gonna be me. I swear.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
Our winner
Someone
is
new.
Pooh.
You haven't been picked
It was,
either,
dude,
right?
it was almost you. It was
No, wait,
It was
what did
legit
you pick
almost
last
you.
time? I can't remember. What did you pick last
I
time?
didn't pick shit. I didn't pick nothing.
No, you had it last time, right?
No, Mark had it last time.
I
Has
legit-
it been just us three?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
What the
Because
fuck?
it's only y'all.
Like, cause y'all rotate. Y'all aren't here at the same time.
All right,
That's
so,
That's true. That is true.
So, Pooh,
That's kind of on us.
what mainstream album we jamming, bro?
Mainstream.
So Harry Belafonte.
Exactly. I don't know how he knew. I don't know how he
Can
knew.
we jam the Frank Sinatra?
Hey, I'm fucking all about it. Like,
Old Blue
From the
Eyes.
recent.
Hmm?
Oh, it's just,
I got the Frank Sinatra greatest hits.
Hell yeah.
yeah, me too.
I just
Blue
know
I got
and then the
Christmas
love hits.
on vinyl. I
That's
heard
no
a bump
shit.
that.
Where's that? Wait, are we thawing them right now? It's Christmas time.
That's no shit.
Right.
All right. Mainstream. I'm going to kick it. Go to some old school a little bit. I mean, somewhat old school. I mean, roots of hip hop. I am gonna go with a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the anthology.
Anthology, nice.
So,
Damn,
let's say the
good
anthology,
fucking
Tribe Called Quest. I want to mix it up a little bit, throw it back. So that will be the mainstream album.
Absolutely. Underground artist, man. Who we going with?
I am gonna go with I don't know how to pronounce the name. Truvas.
Truvas. Yeah, dude.
Us.
Yeah, dude.
I
One of
can't
our.
shout
out.
So-
Our English bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's the one we're talking about from across the pond.
That's who
We've
we're
been-
gonna do. Oh, that's the pond.
That's the pond.
That's
He's
the
on
pond.
that
Across
side of
the
the pond.
Atlantic Ocean to the English
Whoa,
people is the
whoa!
pond.
It's the pond. It's not the ocean.
Shout out to him, man. He's been showing us love. And
Yeah. So we're gonna show some love back and go with Truvas.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think we covered it all, man. We talked RTJ3. We talked Divine Council. We are listening to Tribe Called Quest this week, and we're also going to jam some Truvas. We'll provide you with the links to the stuff we listen to. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, interact with us, guys. That's what we're here to do. You comment with us, we comment back. We just like talking to y'all. We like talking hip-hop. We talk hip-hop, we breathe hip-hop. That's what we do. And for the rest of the Knights of the Round Records, this is VillosaurusWrex, man. Y'all be real.